So tonight I'm gonna read you some pieces that I wrote, really on that theme of the journey to motherhood, because I haven't had the opportunity to read a lot of them, and I thought, oh, do you know what? I'll read some of those tonight. So the first one I'm going to read is it was put in the dialect anthology. Dialect very kindly have me as a member of their group, which is wonderful because it gives me the opportunity to write and also validated me. I think as a writer, you're always picking up the pen and going, "Oh, maybe I'm not very good." So they're great for that. And this poem is something that I wrote. I was diagnosed with epilepsy when I was 18, and I was put on a drug called sodium valproate, which young women are not put on anymore because it's incredibly dangerous for a baby in the womb. So it's a drug that they avoid with young women who may choose to have a baby. And I wrote this poem when I realized that I wouldn't. Well, when I was told you won't be able to have a child on this medication and you'll die if you come off it, because it was way, way back then. Um, it's okay now. I have had a baby many years later. And also, I think at that time, if I'd have had a baby, I'd have just like gone out raving and come home with my tobacco and been like, I'm sure I've forgotten something. The baby. So, it's okay. Things work out as they should. Yeah, so this is called Snow, a poem for the one I lost. How could a tree in this city grow so tall? Easy just to stop, feel you grow, freeze you in time, to hold you like a pebble in my hand. I am so sorry, little one, for all this snow. Yeah. Um, and then let me get my list up, guys. I'm going to put Zoom down here. I hope that you just carry on being able to see me. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to read to you is The Road is Long. So The Road is Long is the piece that you guys just spoke about, and it won a flash fiction prize, and I was like, oh, maybe I am good at writing. Aha! We just need validating, don't we, all the time? And it was the premise of the piece was that you write a piece of flash fiction that is kind of about climate change and about hope and just it's a hard world, isn't it? You guys have all talked about climate change tonight, and yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy world. But this is my take on it, and it's very inspired by my journey to motherhood. If my body were the blackened earth, all the amniotic fluid in my womb, the ocean where the children rested, grew, swam suspended, drowned or rose upended as sharp stars in the wide open skies, if that is this, then the one sun that chose to live, rising from my crust-cut abyss, abdomen earthquake-like, a scalpel blinking in the hand of the man who sliced him out, that sun rose as bright as a ball of fire. And they say these days, you should not have a child, but who will carry on the good fight when there are none of us left? Who will shoulder lanterns, swooning rich with love, and hold the masses in the palms of their kindness? Who will take the goodness of this earth and make it even better, even more good? There were 5 children altogether. The other 4 died. It was a long road to the sun. Body of mine, a poisoned river to the first, all that snow that he could only ever grow cold into. Oceans of rebirth for the second, feeling the weighty resurgence of this earth, how far wrong we had all gone, too hard, too heavy to hold on. The third was a ball of cells, a glass of wine, an ocean of badly timed remorse. silently slipping away into our night of dread, our inability to see the possibilities ahead. My poor love, the fourth, who I was so sure would live, who formed a whole tiny body with everything to give but the tattoo of her heartbeat. How could we forgive ourselves? How could we go on? You ask. The road is long, the tortoise slow, the hare way too fast. You know, at the end of every story, there is another beginning, and each time a new word breathes life, there is hope as bright and as certain as my son, as real and as good and as kind and as filled with love as is his laughter in his soft cotton fresh snot-streaked cheeks. This road is long and we were made to walk it. And after I am gone, he will be magnificent. You all will. You will all be the possibilities that we dared to believe, to breathe our life into, to grow organs and skin and bone and blood and every single cell of love from thin air. I have 5 children, 5 hearts that beat. One in my chest below my right breast, one in the palms of each of my hands, one in the springs of each of my feet. The road is long for a mother, for a teller. We walk together, gentle, fierce, hope slung heavy, light across our shoulders in all weathers, until one day we rise with the stars to watch all that was ours grow a world that is complete of the brightest type of goodness that we once dared to dream. Yeah, man. There's hope, you guys. There's always hope. Right. Okay. So I wrote this one when I became a mother, finally, after clawing my way to that. And I held my baby in my arms, my little Reuben in my arms, and I remember thinking somewhere in the midst of the craziness of being, becoming a mother, I remember holding him and thinking, oh God, I need to do 2 things. One, I need to make sure that when I'm gone, he's going to be okay, because I think that's like the job of a parent. When you're gone, your kid is going to be okay, if that's possible. And 2, I'm going to need to let him go when he wants to, whatever it is he wants to go and do, if it's smoke heroin up a tree or, I mean, God forbid, but, I'm going to have to let him go. My kid is quite wild. He's definitely my child. So yeah, I wrote this then. And I think Leslie mentioned boats earlier, and I was like, oh, that's in my mother poem too. So yeah. Mother, I am an island of flesh and blood. He grows out of us, lines our shores with salted dreams deep, deep into the night. We are surrounded by a sea of woods, sun-suckled sucks, life force, because breasts can rise and fall like the tides. I am the center of his world for now. Skin, bone, tired brow. Love, thanks, fear, hope. I am the dawning place for his first sailing boat. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to read you like a short story, guys. It's my first ever thing that's been published in America, so it's super exciting. And I'll put a link into the thing it's going to be published in. It's this awesome contemporary arts journal. And that's funny that is because I did a contemporary arts degree. So it's kind of cool that it's kind of come a full circle round to this awesome journal. And it's my partner left when my son was 2, and it was quite difficult, which I won't go into because it's private. But yeah, it was a really difficult time, and I think it was the first time in my life, because I have epilepsy, because there's always been this, like, you have to be with someone else in a house, you can't be on your own. Da, 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 da. So it was kind of going through this kind of big trauma, but also like it was the first time I'd been in a house on my own. I had my kid, my Labrador, who's got ADHD. I'm sure of it, more ADHD than I have, bless her. But it was quite scary. It was quite scary for quite a long time. And so this piece it's a piece that kind of got into a journal about metamorphosis and about change. So it's kind of about going through that time. And it's called The Night of the Angel. Upon waking, the silence felt all dressed up in presents. At my back, as I turn over, sharp on the new mattress, there's a man, half naked, half featherstone masked, stood beside the bed, watching me. I thought, he's watching me, isn't he? I screamed, of course. Well, of course I did. No one expects to wake in the corpse of night and masked ballerinas by the foot of the bed. Ghost, angel, man, woman, alive or dead, I wasn't sure. Something ancient. Not God. I mean, what would he want me for? But it was divine, spirit, guardian, angel, seraphim. I remembered the round, flat-spotted jasper left accidentally in the bathroom. Go and get it, something said. I heaved myself away from the hot, messy duvet nest, staggered to the windowsill next door and clasped the stone, moonlit, cool crystal rock on my lifeline. The spirit had hidden him away. The spirit had hidden himself away by the time I returned, cut through with my fear and the electric light bulb. My son was waking. Are you afraid or just awake? I asked him. I am awake, Mummy. You are afraid, he replied. His eyes darting as he watches spirit ceiling dance, and I beg logic back from the edge of unreasonable hysteria. 2 years wise, my boy. His short life hasn't taught him the institution of fear. Yet. He isn't crazy or mad or insane or lit by gas. He is simply seeing what is in front of him. That night, the night of the angel, as I like to call it, my son slept at the foot of my bed, on top of the duvet, like a little human kitten. Upside down us, like the bedroom on the ceiling in the museum. Humans are born physically helpless, spiritually fierce. Society, tradition, expectation easing us into a helplessness of sensibility. Since then, I came to realize that the spirit was not watching me. He was watching the wolf. He was watching over me. The wolf, a wild, dangerous old hag of a thing, hunched on the other side of the bed and begging for my fear with which to feed his own. Ancient he was, with terror. It was all he knew. Fixed in the quarried foundations of these walls for what had felt like eternity. Mummy, they are here again, just so you know, my son would say. Some following night came more, in the far corners of my bedroom, masked like the first one, but they weren't the same. Named mischief, fear, trouble, tricks, snake. This had been going on for some time. Night hags, shadows, lights that were not lit, terror, only I was not asleep. I'd been awake for all of it. Gathered spirits, tricksters, children even. I asked them to leave. And then, on a bout of some rather surprising, inner strength, I stopped asking and held my space in love, in light, in grace. Drew boundaries across the bedroom floors, in air, in kisses, invisible to the naked eye. I am not ready, I whisper firmly to them, and they crept away, tutting, dragging their feathered heels through the cupboard doors. I performed a ritual then, in candlelight, in midwinter, holding the space against the back wall where the dog began to dig downstairs, where the cold came in at us unexpected, from the place where the wolf and the children told us they were trapped. You were safe, I told the young woman first, as her figure floated beside me, peripheral and fleeing. I had thought that there were more, but thinking and feeling and seeing are not the same thing. She lingered by the door, where I could only feel her slightness, her lightness. Now she was finally free. You can leave now, I told her. Can I? She wasn't sure. I realised neither was I. There was something holding us both in a trap, and it occurred to me that the time had come to seek our own permission to be free. Yes, yes, I said, formed my words like a balm of silk on hot skin, like a prayer in my head to hers. Go in the way of light and love, go be free. Be free, little dove. And in time they left, the dog lingering a little longer to see for himself the boy I have grown from a seed to a kitten to a watcher of light. And so, you see, I've thrown logic aside, allowing a child to teach me who we really are, to stand in truths, to know fear as an ally. One day when he is grown, I will need to remind my son of the spirits he can no longer feel. Within a week I was sleeping. We all were, at last, free to fall into rest for a short time. Nightmen came, scraping the road, to hurt me again, the dog's throat rumbling tunes of menace at the wall of trees and sky beyond the front gate. I turned on the light outside. I could not see them, but I knew they were there. Handing my lifeline this time to the cool front door window glass, stronger now. Not this time, I say, feet rooted into cheap rental laminate, ants and earthworm beneath our toes. They could see, feel and hear me this time. The angel stood with me, beside me, within me. No, thank you. From the palms of our feet to the soles of our hands into the night between bracken and branch. No, thank you. In the light made by man, in the one star hung like hope on a rope, watching the squirrel twitch tails and the acorns shake. No, thank you. I have a child to raise. An arched circle drew its line around us. Wings opened a breathless ribcage. And we nestled safe, safest yet, protected. Me, the dog, the watcher, the wolf, all the spirits, and my son. Soon we would be ready, and all the angels would come. Yeah, how powerful our own terror can be, right? Okay, I think I've got time for one more. I'm going to try not to rush through it. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to quickly do this quick little poem. This is when I went to the GP when I was pregnant with my son, with my Reuben. And she played me his heartbeat. I thought it was going to be one of those appointments. Are you eating raw fish? No. Soil? No. How are you feeling? Sick? You know, all that pregnancy stuff that they do. And she played me his heartbeat. Dun, 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 dun. I was like, is he okay? It's very fast. Yeah, it's fine, she said. So this is called Our Hearts Are Here. Our hearts are here, ba-boom, ba-boom. A herd of elephant run in the hot water pipes. Our eyes, watch the water stain the bedroom wall again. Our ears can hear, our ears can hear, our ears can hear. A weasel in the roof, it's the truth, it's the truth, it's the truth. Bulb, pip, bulb, bulb tips, peer. We're here, we're here, we're here. Early this year, by the back door, by the back door, by the back door. Deer in the field go trip-trot by, out in the night. A barn owl cry. A ferret by the bins, cake in tins, a wilderness out back as wild as our hair, and the thud, thud, thud of our dog's tail on the bottom stair. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Our hearts are here. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. Our hearts are here. Okay, that's it, guys. Thank you for listening.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh.
Wonderful.
Please unmute everyone, show your
Wonderful.
appreciation
It
for
was
Jazz.
brilliant.